Turn off the fan.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Frenemies podcast here. We got Mike Steele. Yeah, that guy. And I'm Doug O. You know us. You love us. We're back. Anyway, guess what we've been up to today? Today started off pretty awesome. As most of you know, we recently got a brand new car for the show. And today we were talking about the livery or the livery on it. If you don't know what that word is, Livery, that is basically the wrap or the cool design that you want to wrap around the car. Primarily a racing term. So yeah, we were trying to figure out what color to make the car, what kind of decals and wraps and all that kind of stuff. We do have some pictures here, I think. I'm not quite positive. But the car came in blue just like this one with red stripes on it. And we are possibly considering swapping it out to yellow stripes.
These are the problems you want to have, folks, is what kind of stripes you're going to put on your midlife crisis, impractical, two-seater, no trunk, no space for storage sports car.
Yes, and it
All right.
already drove us to drinking, just talking about
What
it.
is this? What is it? Is it a metaphor? Is it whatever? Yes. If those are the problems you want to have, then you've got to work towards those problems. So what I did is I got a genie lamp. I said, I need a new Corvette. And the genie gave me this piece of crap. And I'm like, that's not going to work. You know, I'm not going to fit in that thing. All right. And then I'm like, I need another one. Can I get one? And then they said, hey, here's it. This one will work. And I'm like, I could put like a Ritz cracker in that. It's not bad. And then we got this POS right here. It's not bad. But it doesn't do the job. And then we got the real thing. And is that how it works?
Yes, that's called visualizing.
Is that how it works?
Visualization.
That's part of how it works.
Also, the secret. Have you heard of the secret?
The secret is hard work.
Yeah.
All right. So the lamp, the wishing for it didn't do it. The rubbing the lamp, none of that did it. It was the hard work. It was the planning. It was the execution. You can execute. Have you heard Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank? He talks about, can you execute? Can you get it done? That's what it takes to be middle-aged, overweight like me, and trying to sort of maybe be cool, not really.
It happens. It happens to all of us. That's why we all go after younger women, right? We're still trying to chase coolness.
Yeah, that's
Trying to still
exactly
be cool
right.
like we were in high school.
But I think part of being cool is if you take the caring down. It's not that you don't care, it's that you don't mind. It's that getting rid of that pride of you have to work on everything yourself. You can hire people. Getting rid of that perfectionist that's got to be exactly this way. It's like, just do it. Just get it done. And so one of the great things about me is I just act and get things done. One of the bad things is I just act.
Yeah.
And I don't always think about it. But, you know, to me, I'm like a hammer and everything's a nail. So there's a use for something like that. And there's a positivity to that. You just need to learn strategies to have somebody else help you out with certain aspects of things. But acting is very important. Getting things done is very important. And that's why this slowly became this, and then this. And then we went to lunch today in the full size thing. We didn't go to lunch in this thing. All right. I didn't put Duggo on my back and try and skateboard over in this thing. All right. We went in the full size one that takes gasoline like a real car does. All right. It's not a robot machine, Elon Musk, talk to it. It just starts up and goes.
And so you definitely have a point. For those listening, we did just that, actually. If it were up to me, we'd still be designing the logo or talking about what we want to talk about. However, give this guy a hammer and a nail, and he was willing to help build a studio. We somehow now have this Corvette. We're recording. We're on like episode 8 or something right now. There's meetings, there's pictures, there's designs, the website's up, Instagram's up. We're making stuff happen. So yeah, I'm learning the opposite. I'm learning, just I need to turn my brain off and start acting, start getting stuff done. Doesn't have to be the right way, as you can see from what this guy's doing. It just has to be fun, enjoyable for the person doing it, and you just got to do it. Just get in there and just do it.
Yeah, so that's the key to working together is you learn something from each other. Duggo has plenty to offer. He does, despite what I've heard. But you do have to just get going and get started on it and not quibble too much over the details. If it's a good deal and it works out, then go for it. Then you got to try it. You got to make things happen. And part of the reason for the car is the proof's in the pudding. So the proof is sitting in the front yard. The proof drove to lunch. The proof drove around all day yesterday. And so that's it. We plan it. We figure it out. We get it done. It's like Danny Glover says, I loved you in Dirty Harry. I had this bit that I wrote. It's the terrible impressions bit. Hold on, I got Clint, because these two guys. The thing is with Clint Eastwood and Danny Glover's, they both whisper, and now they're both really old. So can you imagine them in a scene? He's like, I loved you in Dirty Harry. He's like, you were great in The Color Purple. He's like. I loved you in Gran Torino. It's like you were fabulous in Lethal Weapon, So you get it.
Those were both horrible, but I applaud the effort. Keep practicing on that one.
The key to my impressions, why they're better than Doug's, is Doug is smart enough not to do impressions at all.
Correct.
So,
Doug, and I don't make fun of my heroes.
I'm not making fun of them. These guys are fabulous.
They're amazing.
Dude, Danny Glover was great in Dirty Grandpa, with De Niro. He was so good. He played like a veteran. He was in a home and he was making fun of Zac Efron like everybody else. That was super fun. But
speaking of getting it done, all these kids out there going to college are getting it done, right? But we were talking earlier about how that's not actually how you get it done, right? So I've experienced teaching at the collegiate level, and I've also been to college. So I've seen both sides of it. I've even, run businesses and have had all kinds of weird jobs and whatnot over the years. And so I've seen education in many different ways, from teaching to training to learning to building curriculum to how businesses of college actually work, right? And you have, I know for a fact you've been a college student. You've had fun in college, right? I don't know what else you've done other than that. You've run businesses and everything, so you have that aspect of how to make money from a business standpoint. And so we were talking today that college students don't really get it done, are they? They're not learning what they need to learn, or they're not saying what they need to say to the right people. They're not asking the right questions, or even college itself doesn't guide you to where you need to be on your journey.
Well, let me clear this up. I went to Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida, and I had, I guess, high hopes. I was too young. I was 17. My father dropped me off there. I didn't know what I was doing, and I spent the first couple of weeks taking tests and doing papers and playing tennis. I wanted to be on the tennis team. I was a pretty good player. And then I made the dean's list. And then very shortly after that, I got kicked off not even the tennis team, but I got kind of kicked out of tryouts for showing up hungover. And then I got kicked off the dean's list. And then I spent about 3 5/8 years just drinking and fornicating and padding the body count, where I got to about 100. And I don't remember much of college except that, but it's not my fault. I didn't know what I was doing there. But to Duggo's point, it's not that you shouldn't go to college. It's that you should have some idea of what you're doing in this world, where your place is, and what you're trying to achieve. I would say that my parents failed me and the school failed me. Nobody reached out. Nobody said, hey, you're struggling, or we see that you're distracted, or what do you want to do with your major? What happens? You go to this guidance counselor. Hey, what's your major? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, you got to pick a major in 2 years. I'm like, all right, I'll drink for 2 years and then I'll come back and make up a stupid major, which is exactly what I did. So I was kind of lost in the system. I had no idea what I was doing there, why I was there, who I was. It's so much fun just partying and chasing women. So that's exactly what I did. No guidance. It's like my parents just, they made sure you had clothes and food and that was it. And I get that I had good fortune of going to college and have these opportunities, but an opportunity for what? It's like if you join the military and they don't make sure that you exercise. There's no fitness standards. They don't care when you get up or when you go to sleep. There's no training. They just give you a book and hope you read it. I mean, that it just didn't work for me. It didn't work and it did work. It was a lot of fun. I don't have any STDs or kids that I know of, but it was still a good time. But I wish that I got more out of it, than 2,800 hangovers.
Yeah, and so along the same lines, right? So we don't have any education on this stuff, right? We have no education on podcasting or like I don't know, building ultimate wealth or what are some of these other topics like having ambition
This is me in college.
and and building studios and there's all this new stuff, new technology that comes out daily and no one's there for you. We have to learn it. We have to stay fresh. We have to keep creating new skill sets for all these things we want to do in life. Like today, you learned how to rev the Corvette engine in a different way, right?
Which is the only thing that matters is when you see some girl. I'm married, but when you see some girl staring at the car, you should rev it up. And I learned the better way to do it. Instead of putting it in neutral where there's a rev limiter and you could damage the engine, you pull both the paddle shifters and you take it out of gear, and then there's no limiter and you can rev it. That's really all that matters, is what I think.
Yeah. Well, it's not as manly as it could be because they took the stick shift out, but the paddle shifters are the next best thing, and it is pretty cool seeing those little paddles on there.
Yeah. But to Duggo's point, if you don't know what you don't know, so people need to take care of their kids. They need to reach out. Students need help. They need guidance from teachers. Well, what are teachers? Teachers are teachers. Teachers are parents. Your parents are teachers. Your grandparents are teachers. Your older siblings, friends. You got to help each other out with a path and try and get to where you want to go, but you need direction. It's like Schwarzenegger talks about. You can have the greatest plane on earth, but if you don't have a destination, the pilot is just up there trying to guess it. You have to have something you're trying to get to. If your goal is the big car, which we can't fit in the studio yet, eventually we'll do the show from the front seat of the car. But if you got to start here, and somebody's got to say, all right, you start with this, and then if you save up enough money, you can get this, and then if you save up enough, you can get that, and if you have a plan, then you can get the real one, which is bigger than this, even though I have banana hands. Look at these hands. Look at this.
I thought you were missing a finger for a
Look
second.
at this. Yeah, look at that. The camera. I'm missing a finger.
That's
that
how you do construction,
weird.
Man.
That looks like a hot dog coming at you.
That's muscles in those fingers is what that is.
Yeah.
I hear the ladies love that kind of stuff.
They do. And then, what Johnny Carson would say, that's weird, wild stuff. No. One day Duggo is going to be like, that was the best impression I've ever heard.
Do it again.
Yeah. Well, keep working on it. And by working on it, I mean not working on it. It's just holding up these stupid signs and then saying something. But it's funny to me.
So what else were we talking about at lunch today? We were talking about the fact that at any moment you could just run your car off the road into somebody. Or you could be at the gym and it's just you and another girl, and when no one's there, you take advantage of her, right? And it's funny how we're talking about things like that. Like you could kill somebody if you wanted to, right? But there's all these consequences that keep us in check.
Yeah, part of that, one of the great things, I'm not religious, but maybe I'm spiritual about that is the commandments and keeping you in check. Look, life is absurd. It is so odd. You see a woman, you want to go smack her butt, but there'll be consequences. You can't do anything like that. I did something I heard the other day, which was fascinating. I mean, there is a double standard with everything you do, and we're kind of all over the place. But Anthony Mackie, he's a tremendous actor, and he was telling this story about Betty White, and he's like a huge Golden Girls fan.
She was amazing.
Yeah, and so she came up to him in an award show and whispered in his ear, if I was 50 years younger, you'd be in trouble. And he's like, hell yeah. Where's my Anthony Mackie mask? I'm going to order that one next.
I
You
kind
know,
of feel like most people would say yes to Betty White.
that's a
regardless of how old she
fabulous
is.
scene, a fabulous bit. It was a wonderful story. And great. You can't switch the sexes and get away with that. Isn't that funny? You can't be an older guy. You can't be, Danny Glover and say to Margot Robbie, "Hey, if I was 50 years younger, you'd be in trouble." He'd get in trouble for that, right?
Yes.
Isn't that weird? Yet that's okay. And yet you got Scarlett Johansson with "Ask Us More." Don't just ask us what dress. There's so many double standards. I think people just need to chill out. What they need to do is bring the caring down. And again, it means that you don't mind, that everything is okay within reason. I mean, you can't have any abuse or things like that. But life is absurd. You could be a Harvard graduate, then you go to Harvard Medical School, then you do all of your residency, and you're going to be a surgeon. And then one night you have one beer, and you look down at your phone, you drive off the road and hit a family, and you're gone. It's all over. You're in prison for life. So
they made movies about that, by the way.
Yeah, it is so odd that the amount of control you kind of need to have, but I guess that's what civilized society is. But one thing we're talking about is impulses. Like, my brain's always going. It doesn't mean that I'm intelligent. It's just rapidly moving to different topics. Makes it incredibly hard for me to focus. It makes it hard to pay attention to other people, to stick to one subject. And what I was explaining to Doug out, because I've had a lot of therapy, is from my point of view, it's not something I can control in the moment, but then I can see the reaction of other people and say, wait a minute, maybe that's something I need to discuss with my therapist. Maybe that's something I have to research on my own to try and solve. It's not other people's responsibility to deal with your dysfunction.
Correct.
So if you have something like that and you see that it's a problem, you're always arguing with your friends, you're always yelling at your kids, you're always arguing with your wife, look into that and say, all right, what are the strategies I can have? Walk away for a few minutes, go gather your thoughts and come back. I heard a Robert Downey Jr. interview about that. He's like, you got to walk away before you flip out.
The interesting part of that is that most of the world is like that these days. And I don't have any issues with any specific type of person, but lately, nonstop, everyone seems to have an issue with everyone else, and no one is taking a breather. No one's taking 5 minutes to be like, why am I acting so crazy? Why am I yelling or fighting or spitting or whatever? Just because this person blew their nose the wrong way or said hi to me the wrong way, right? A lot of that's going on lately. It needs to stop for sure.
Speaking of that, I love Barack Obama. He's very interesting. We're not political on the show.
No.
I just, I think he's a great speaker. He's very deliberate in how he talks. And
he's a cool president.
He's cool, and he thinks
cool
before he says something. But it is so funny. There's a couple different Obamas.
Mm-hmm.
He's a human being. So, I remember, of course, there was a school shooting, and he was crying because, he was upset, the kids, and it's awful. It's funny, when he's doing his speeches, it depends what the audience is. So when he gets around like a complete black audience, he starts a little different with the y'all. He gets a little bit of the Southern in there. I guess that's what you have to do. It's just funny how you can noticeably change. I don't have an Obama, do I? I'm not a crook. Well, that's
that's not him at all.
That's Nixon. That's how you do a bad Obama.
You got scared. That's what.
No, I don't know what you got Obama. Scared. That's the last time you asked that question.
That wasn't bad. The funny thing is, you put his face on top of your face and did the impression.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like we can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to.
I can do whatever I want. All right, within reason. But
yeah, so we were talking about a lot of random stuff today. A lot of stuff came up in topic and conversation, and kind of all over the place. But it makes it fun. It makes it interesting.
Yeah. So the school thing. Should you go to college? Should you not go to college? It doesn't make sense to have this massive debt. I get that there's a 4-year thing. It was cool to go to Rollins for 4 years. I wasn't into sports, but I get people who go to these large state schools, they're into college football and they want the alma mater and the fraternity because they could have these friends for life.
UCF, baby.
Yeah, the Knights. You could have the maturing experience, and you get, you spend 4 years with these people, and maybe you get a degree or maybe not. I got a degree in liver damage.
I had an amazing time in college, but looking back, I would have loved if I had someone to guide me and say, hey, maybe do an apprenticeship on this thing over here instead, Because looking back, if I would have become a plumber, an electrician, or whatever, oh my God, I'd have my own plumbing business taking over Central Florida right now. Instead, I did art. I did animation, special effects, 2D and 3D animation, stuff like that.
Everybody knows if you go to an art school, you're not going to get as laid as everybody else. Yeah, so that could have been worse.
No, it was all right.
But yeah, people need some guidance. We have a close friend. He's a friend, but he never comes to hang out with any of us. He's a friend who didn't show up to his own birthday party. So yeah. I just lied to you. He's not a close friend. He's a friend. Anyway, he went to 2 years of community college, which he got scholarships for. Then he went to 2 years of Rollins, which I don't think he paid for. He got grants or something because he had that.
Je ne sais quoi.
A couple things. He had the genius to do that move where he still got to go to the big school. And he didn't have the funds, and he didn't want to have the debt, I guess. I'd have to ask him. He was always good with money. He just wasn't good with women or friends or anything else. So he was good with money and the planning for school. And I guess he showed up to work because he's retired already. Yeah. What can you do?
I kind of did that. My college was free ride. Mine happened a little bit differently. What I did, and this is a trick for all of you out there who need money for college. Sadly enough, my father passed away my senior year of high school. And so I spent the entire year in the principal's office because I did not want to talk to anyone or deal with anyone. I didn't want to go to class. So I just did all my work and stuff from there. And this one lady there pointed at this gigantic file cabinet and said, listen, if you're going to sit here all day, every single document in there is a completely different scholarship. Fill them all out. And so I did. I filled them all out. I won scholarships that even asked you to be a girl, or that asked you to have kids in high school, or that asked you to be a certain skin color. I filled them all out. And I won most of them because no one else in the entire state filled them out.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And so I got a free ride to college because I was the only one that actually tried to get the scholarships. Yeah, man.
That's impressive. And as George Bush would say,
oh man, here we go.
I thought you guys were terrorizers. You ever see Harold and Kumar? No, but that's a good story. The other thing we want to talk about, Halloween is coming up, one of the favorite holidays, and I got all this candy. Don't get your candy early because you're going to end up eating 96.5% of it. The other thing is you get selfish. I'm like, I'm not letting these kids have my Laffy Taffy or my Twix. I'm going to just take all that stuff. They can have the swag, the orange peanuts. They can have those Smarties. Nobody wants that crap. Yeah. What is it, Milky Ways? Who eats Milky Ways? Snickers? Come on.
Ice cream Snickers is my favorite ice cream treat.
Different level.
It is, yeah.
That's different level.
Magical.
That's like Snickers, and then the ice cream Snickers is the real thing.
Yeah.
We need a video screen so we can show the real car with like humans and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or we just need like a little Carl, like you open this and he just falls out because he had 26 Mai Tais. Well, don't drink and drive, but unless it's a car this size. Yeah. No, but good times, ladies and gents.
That's a great idea. You have a place where you go to a bar and everybody gets drunk, and then they have remote control cars they can race.
That's not bad.
That's an interesting idea.
Not bad. But the whole point is this, is success, is moving forward and up. If that's what you want, is leveling up, is there's nothing that can stand in your way, and there's unlimited things that you can achieve. Mm-hmm. And if you want a sports car, you can do it. If you want a mansion, you can do it. If you want tons of money in the bank, you can do it. If you want to save orphans, you can do it. You just have to get started asking questions. Don't give anybody any money. but talk to people, find out what have they done, what have they succeeded in, what have they failed in, what have they worked on. Part of the car is, if we're going to be telling people you should do investments, you should start businesses, is to show, look, we've had some level of success, we've done some things. You can't tell everybody else to take risks and take chances if you're not doing it. That's not right.
Yep.
All right.
You did a thing. That's what matters.
You can't say that you should, buzz balls are great without having 14 buzz balls in one sitting. Doug over here, I gave him this like pumpkin flavored buzz ball. It was about huge, this big. It's about 71 shots.
Yeah.
So he went home, and instead of dipping his toe in the waters, he dove face first into a frozen Lake Michigan and drank the whole friggin' thing. And then he was making out with his pillow the whole night.
Yeah, it was rough. And I did not like the flavor. The white buzzball is not good in my opinion. It's like a milk flavor. But all the other ones we've had have tasted pretty good, especially the chocolate one.
One of the keys to a bad tasting drink is have 17 of them, and then it's your favorite thing ever.
It's true. It helped me get through the rest of the second half of the bottle.
We're actually sober for once on the show.
Yep.
Because we're going to go to a American Ninja obstacle gym later today and definitely injure ourselves. I'm feeling injured just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's going to be dangerous, but it's worth it.
50 years old. I turned 50 the other day. And what happens is you wake up and you have a sprained ankle. And then you go to brush your teeth and your elbow hurts. And then, God forbid, I damaged my finger. So I'm wiping my butt with the other hand and I get a cramp in my ribs and my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, that's it for me.
When I hit 40, I'm 46 now. The day I hit 40, holy cow, I could feel everything in the world shift. And it's been downhill ever since, no matter how much I work out.
How do you think my man Clint feels? He's like, 116?
But he's a real man. Are we real men?
You make my day.
He's from a different generation. Those guys were built for tough,
Do you feel lucky, punk? I got to work on it.
I love his movie where he, Gran Torino.
That's a great flick.
A phenomenal movie.
That's great. I love at the end where he was kind of a bigot. And at the end of the movie, he reads a speech about how he makes fun of all the different races and says to the Asian kid who gets the car, don't do this, don't put a giant dumb spoiler on it. That was hysterical.
He evolves and then it's over.
And he teaches the kid how to talk. He goes into the barber shop with, I think it's David Ketchner. No. It was the other guy who's tall and bald. I can't remember. It's Carol Smith. I can't remember. Anyway, and they're going over all the different insults you say to a guy, how the fuck you doing, loser, and you piece of shit. It's quite interesting. And if you're giving the cultural slurs back and forth to each other, it's funny. If you're both in on the joke, the jabbing, man.
The problem is nobody's joking these days.
Yeah.
Everybody's just offended.
This is a huge problem. That's what I'm saying about. It's not caring. It's not minding. You got to take the caring down. You got to make sure everybody's safe and happy and okay. But people are so sensitive about everything. You just got to get going. One of the things that Trump said, which was great, and again, we're not political on this show, is if you're constantly working, you don't have time for any of this crap.
That's true.
I love that meme. No one's tombstone ever said, man, I wished I was online arguing about politics more. I mean, you got to get out and do something else. There's so much to accomplish. That doesn't accomplish anything. Why don't you vote in who you want? And that's it. You got to go back and forth with people. Why aren't you busy building a business? Why aren't you purchasing sports cars? Why aren't you doing horrible impressions? Go ahead. Paint my car yellow. Why aren't you doing that and get this stupid crap you're going to see us driving around? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you creating enterprises? Why aren't you building your passive income empire?
Hey, that's what I'm doing right now.
That's it. Why aren't you spending time with your kids? Why aren't you hanging out with Jesus Christ?
So that's why today I had a meeting to possibly purchase a CrossFit gym here locally. Yeah, man. So you gotta do something, no matter how random it is. Buying a car, buying a business, whatever. Find something to do.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You just got to keep moving. and try and enjoy the good parts. I try and slow down when I'm in a scene with my family or something, or in a club or a bar, or they're all in the living room, and I'm like, man, this is great. And you just kind of thank God or whatever's up there, or that you've had some great experiences, some great times. Try and reflect on things. We keep a lot of photos around the house up on the walls that show people. And man, over the years, it thins out. There's some people on those walls, people, pets that are not alive anymore.
Speaking of that, there's a new AI to where you can, what is it? You upload a picture of the person, and then it gives you an animation of them talking and smiling at you and stuff. Oh man, I think that'd be great to have that around the house. Basically, it's like Harry Potter, those pictures that move, right? I want to do that.
And I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is probably the only dead one I have, right?
They're all dead, man.
No, I mean Johnny Carson's the only one. Carson was the best, man. I used to listen to Carson all the time.
You gotta know your audience. Does anyone out there listening know who he is?
Yeah, nobody knows who Johnny Carson is anymore. But he was like the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, his late night show. Late night's going away, right? Colbert's getting canceled. Jimmy Kimmel maybe getting canceled. Too much division in the world. You all have to come together.
Yeah. If you hate everybody equally, then you don't hate anybody, right?
Yeah,
that's how that
true.
works.
You know what I hate? I hate when I run out of Laffy Taffy. Right?
Well, that's a good segue. We got to get going to this ninja thing. So, see you guys next time. Yeah, man.
Yeah!